It's Amanda, and this is your final video about the greatness of the four founders. And this one is about Helga Hufflepuff. So the thing about Helga is there's not a lot of information that we're privy to about her life. And there doesn't seem to be a lot of dramatic tension between her and anybody. Rowena has her daughter, Godric and Salazar have each other, and Helga's just kind of like, hey, let's group hug, shall we? So because of that, it leaves a little room for creative leeway. So this video is the reasons why Helga Hufflepuff is the best, most amazing, most wonderful founder. Number one, she's a time traveler. The rest of you can go home because this automatically makes her the coolest person in all four scripts. I would even go so boldly as to say that makes her the coolest person in all 7 Harry Potter books. So let me explain. There are 10 years of Helga's life that are essentially unaccounted for and that she spent traveling, and not just hours at a time, but days, months, years into the future and back into the past. And these adventures that she's gone on and the people and the places that she's gone and met and seen has made her into this incredibly well-rounded individual and has really impacted the way she looks and thinks and perceives the world around her and the situations that she's put into. It's made her understand and realize that everybody matters, that every single person she meets is important, and that is something that she carries with herself and has helped make her into the woman that she is. Because when we meet Helga Hufflepuff in part 1, there's no real character growth for her. She's already done and lived most of her life. We now get to actually meet her as Helga the Sweet. She is the person she needs to be when Hogwarts gets built. So she's the only person that's actually consistent through all 4 parts of it, and she really is kind of our fixed point, and everybody else comes out from her. So, and that leads me into reason number 2. She's had the craziest life, and yet she is the only sane person at Hogwarts. She's the only one who gets it. They did not build that school for themselves. They built Hogwarts as a safe place for kids to study so that they can learn and become the best versions of themselves that they possibly can be. And I feel like with the other founders, even if it's in a small way, they've sort of lost sight of that, and they've sort of lost that focus. They perceive themselves and their house as the main thing, and they've lost the idea of Hogwarts as a whole. And I don't think that that's true with Helga. And I think it's hysterical because there's a severe possibility that Helga is actually the most powerful of the 4 founders, and yet she's the only one that actually sees all 4 of them as equals. And this is also reflected in her own house, which brings me to reason number 3 of why she's amazing. The other 3 founders seem to use superlatives to define and describe their house. The bravest, the most creative, the most resourceful. The way that Helga describes her own house is loyal, hardworking, and kind. Helga Hufflepuff wants good to come out of people, and she knows that everyone is capable of it and will do everything she can to bring that out of a person, and knows that if they can be a good person, that greatness will come later. And I think it's great that there are more kids in Hogwarts in that first year, and to me every year that she teaches there are more kids that want to be Hufflepuffs than all other houses combined. Because she is encouraging and they thrive in her class. And that speaks volumes for her as a teacher and her as a person. And that's why I think Helga Hufflepuff is the best, most amazing, most incredible, most wonderful founder. That's this video. Like I said, we have a video coming up for part 4. There's a little announcement, actually kind of a big announcement about what we're going to do for part 4. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, it'll be awesome. So, woo! And I just love her, and I think she's awesome, and she's time traveled. And yes, I made her time travel with the Doctor, because the only thing I love more than Harry Potter and Doctor Who are crossovers. Because let's face it, if the Doctor in any regeneration was going to pick one of the 4 founders to come travel with him, I'm pretty sure 11 times out of 11, it's going to be Helga Hufflepuff, because she would just be so much fun to travel with. I mean, how cool would that be to travel with her? And so yes, I do think that Helga Hufflepuff And I made hints about this in the script, but yes, I do think that Helga Hufflepuff was a companion to the Doctor for a short while. And I think that's why she started researching lunar potions and why she and Salazar got along so well. He taught astronomy and she missed the stars.